And then Samsung SMA146U. Mr. Freeman, you can go.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
What's your name?
Caleb
What's your last name?
Luther.
Thank you.
Yep.
How old are you?
19.
All right. Why don't you take your hat off? You're actually in court here right now.
You are right.
It would be a better idea that you act like it. So, Mr. Stillwell, did you get a chance to speak with Mr. Luther?
No, Your Honor, I have not had a chance to speak with him. Unless there's a request and change of release conditions, though, I don't think a breakout room is necessary.
All right, hang on just a second. Last time he was here was June 13th, as far as I can tell. Looks like he's picked up another conviction since then, if I'm wrong, unless I'm wrong. Yeah, because he was here on June 13th. He had a court hearing on June 16th in Mason County. And then he pleaded guilty on July 31st.
It's okay. He's sleeping.
And he's here on a marijuana charge.
He's sleeping, so you don't have to worry.
I don't know whether the charge in Mason County was marijuana related or alcohol related. So Mr. Stillwell, yeah, maybe you can go into a breakout room with Mr. Luther and you can have him explain to you why I shouldn't set bail and take him into custody.
Sounds good, Your Honor. Yes, please.
Am I wrong? Hey, Mr. Stillwell, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor.
So let me hear from the state first about where we're headed with Mr. Luther. Ms. Green?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is quite concerned. Before Your Honor had mentioned, I did see that on July 31st, he did plead guilty to an amended charge of negligent driving in the first degree. He was required to do a UA. He was required to do a substance use evaluation, victims panel. And so far, I haven't seen anything submitted in that file. The state was intending to ask to keep the warrant today. I understand that Mr. Luther is not in person, so that makes it a little bit difficult. And so at this time, the state would ask for additional monitoring based on the new allegation of a plea to an amended charge of negligent driving in the first degree, whether that's checking in with pretrial services or some additional level of monitoring.
Mr. Stillwell?
Thank you, Your Honor. I was also going to raise those affirmative requirements out of Mason. I'll note that while I'm unable to file. I'm sorry?
Has he done any of them at all?
I don't. We didn't discuss that, Your Honor, but the review date for those isn't until September 8th. So he's not late on those, or he hasn't been required to do them at this time. I would I point to those as things that he is going to be required to do by Mason District. Otherwise, they're going to bring him back to court for a compliance review hearing and go through that. We're not at that point yet. Also understanding how long these appointments take to set up, plea of guilty on July 31st, I would be very surprised if he had a substance use evaluation appointment already. Also, a lot of the victim impact panels are once or twice a month. So I wouldn't expect those necessarily to be done at this point. They are requirements. He's going to be on the hook for both this court on predisposition matters, as well as now probation out of Mason District Court. And so, Your Honor, we are asking A, I guess, to quash the bench warrant, and B, not to have any enhanced conditions at this time, just because he's going to have a substance use evaluation that will tell at least that court, what the recommendation is. And at that time, he's going to have to comply with those conditions. I think setting up more conditions in this court, in addition to that, is, given that he's been found to be indigent, given his age, and in talking with him, he sounds like he's working overnight shifts at Walmart, putting another thing on his plate at this point, another group to check in with. I think is going to might start having negative returns here, where he's having to comply with a couple of different things already with limited means. So, Your Honor, he's already on probation in another court. I ask that sort of the court take note of that as additional supervision, essentially. Quash the warrant here. He has court-appointed counsel in our office. He's working with Mr. Kale, and allow him to sort of continue on previously imposed conditions. I don't have the DUI file in front of me from Mason District. He tells me that was an alcohol-related DUI with a VAC. Sounds like it was under 0.15, which is a bit different from this case as well. So I'd point that out to the court as well. So for these reasons, Your Honor, we're asking to quash the warrant, keep conditions.
And Your Honor, I was able to pull up his ADR, and it does look like the VAC came back at 0.119116 based on the ADR.
How old are you, Mr. Luther?
19, Your Honor.
You can leave your camera on.
Oh, I didn't know it turned off. I went to tap to speak. How does that work?
Why do I get the feeling you're not taking any of this all that seriously?
I am, Your Honor. Can you still see me?
No, I can't.
Can you hear me and see me now?
I can do both now.
Awesome. Okay. I am taking this serious. I'm sorry, Your Honor, that you're taking it the other way. I've been running errands. I'm in the middle of my car in a parking lot. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but...
No, I'll tell you what has something to do with it. As you were released on conditions of release in May, part of those conditions were you're not to have any criminal law violations, and then don't consume any alcohol or have any controlled substances out of valid prescription, and then barely a month later, you have a much worse allegation and substance use related driving events. And if you really were taking it that seriously, you would have complied with those conditions in the first place and not getting taken care of that, and not getting in trouble in the second case down in Mason County. See, that's what I mean.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not even old enough to drink or have marijuana.
Yes,
So
Your
here's
Honor.
where we're at here today. So, and as Ms. Green said, it's hard to take someone into custody when they're not actually in court, but it's not impossible. But I'm not going to do that here today. I'm going to allow you to remain released on your personal recognizance with all prior conditions in place. We're going to set a court date for September 8th at 9:30. You're on probation in Mason County. You need to comply with all the conditions there. And a violation there, I would consider a violation here. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that'll be it here for today. So you'd be
I
helping.
appreciate that,
You
Your
have to
Honor.
do it anyway. But if it was possible for you to set up that evaluation, which you're court ordered to do out of Mason County, or not court ordered to do that here, you'd be doing yourself a pretty huge favor if you can get that done before your court date, or at least set up before your court date on September 8th.
Oh, okay, you're saying get my evaluation before this court date with you.
Yeah, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm suggesting that it would be a good idea. I'm not in position to do any sort of court orders here now with conditions. I do know you are court ordered to do that out of Mason County within a certain time period. I'm saying you would be doing yourself favors. You would be helping yourself if you were to come to court with that evaluation then. But I'm not requiring it.
Okay, thank you,
Does
Your
that
Honor.
make sense?
Yes, it does.
That's it for today. We'll see you on the 8th of September at 9:30. Then you can
Okay,
submit to
thank
that
you,
too.
Your Honor.
You can thank me by showing
Okay,
up
I
and
will.
staying out of trouble.
Yep. Yeah,
And I think that's it for today.